Walking up to it, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, there's blood on the walls, graffiti over all the walls, people writing their subconscious thoughts like all over the walls, and it's just, it's disgusting.
You stand on this thing?
That's the first
There's a little rats down there, man. What? Oh, rats down there.
needle right there.
Far right corner.
What do you think what you're seeing?
It's pretty hardcore. See all the paraphernalia and everything. It's pretty.
Could you imagine living something like this? Or
can't even,
something like this?
I can't even fathom any of this. Doesn't even hit me really what I'm looking at really. So I think tomorrow I'll realize that this is pretty way more intense than what I thought it'd be like. So it's pretty crazy.
How long was it that you had?
I've been down here since 1998.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you guys when you got here?
I just turned 20.
I was 20.
That's about the same, you know.
Why did you end up down here?
Well,
use of drugs, you know. We use drugs basically to basically cover our, you know.
I was selling
our
drugs.
problems, all right? So,
Yeah, it's just too dangerous, man. But
Yeah.
the second last stabbing is what scared me. I got stabbed by the spine.
Really?
Yeah, by First United Church.
How many times have you been stabbed?
18 times, shot twice.
No way.
Why is that?
Not drugs. People trying to rob me when I was selling the drugs. No.
He's seen a lot, like he's got stabbed a ton, like he was, I don't know, he was like living the hard life and like trying to make money just as well as he could, and I guess like it's just so many different things like around there, like for no reason, like guys are trying to live, like they're just trying to survive, like so they'll do anything to get their hands on like the drugs they need for their addiction.
He talked about it like it was just normal. It was just normal for him to get, you know, beat up or stabbed once or twice a week, like it was a regular occurrence, which was, it was intense.
When you started doing drugs, did you kind of realize that you were getting addicted at some point?
Yeah.
Did you try to quit?
I did quit for about 6 months.
And then you just...
Yeah. I ended up taking off to the Kootenays and that, and then family problems happened, and I came back down here, and that's why I got hooked on the drugs again. I promised myself I wouldn't do it, but then, you know, coming down here, it's everywhere you go. And the sad thing about being downtown here is they got a detox center like right there. And as soon as they come up, what do they see? They got drug dealers standing in front of their building, and that they got another drug place just over here, Salvation Army. They come out, and all you see is people sitting there doing dope.
I remember talking to them, and they all say, "Oh yeah, we plan on getting out of here," but I wonder how many times they've told themselves and they've never really been able to do that.
I think for them it was just because you're just surrounded by it all the time. You can start getting yourself away from it and then so easily get pulled right back in without, there's nowhere else to go for them. What they said is they're trapped there and they all want to get out. They all have a plan to get out, but you know, they really just can't do it.
Never be alive.
No, we're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's about it, right?
Well, as soon as we walk in, it was you know, extremely dirty, just like everywhere else, and really small. But they seemed pretty proud of it because, you know, a lot of people don't have homes there. And they did. They had an apartment which they seemed pretty proud of, but it seemed like kind of like, yeah, like a third world country, like they were living in poverty.
It's not where you want to be. I'm telling you.
Oh, hey.
Well, we're taking this to an elementary school around Bauld to talk to kids. So, you guys have any messages for the kids or whatever?
Stay in school, man. Finish.
Yeah, stay on the drugs and stay in school, man.
Don't take anything free from anybody.
No such thing as free, right?
No, because in the end you're gonna end up paying for it in the long run, you know?
This is the worst place in Canada, the hardest streets. I've been to every city, and by far the worst neighborhood, the poorest neighborhood in Canada. This is it.
How long have you been here for?
I've been out here for 5 years, but as a child, my mother used to bring me out here when I was a little kid, like in the early mid-'80s. So I've been around the downtown east side pretty much my whole life. I've got family members who OD'd out here, just on the other side of the block. My mom died up in the Astoria. Just found out today that actually somebody close to me just passed away, overdosed over there. So, yeah, it's the same age as me, young, only 33. So
He was really casual about it, and I guess if something like that were to happen, like in my family or my friends or something like that, it'd be obviously a huge tragedy. But for him, it was just like, yeah, just an everyday thing. Like someone dies today, someone dies tomorrow.
It just shows that like it's just routine for people to die down there every day and just lives lost, and you know, it's kind of sickening that that's nothing normal to them, and you know, unfortunately that's how a lot of the people down there end up leaving the streets, is in a body bag.
When did you first start doing drugs and stuff?
I started doing drugs at 13 myself personally, but it was just weed back then. But then in my later teens, I started messing with the powder, the cocaine powder. So
Yeah.
just that really. I never did the crack or the heroin because I lost my parents to the heroin. All heroin overdoses in my family. So been around the drugs my whole life. Grew up in a booze can, like typical poverty-ridden family, native home. So typical story for most native kids.
It was intense, and you know, the way he talked was about how he grew up there and how he'd seen some pretty horrific things, you know, just around the corner from where he lived to where he grew up.
You know, I think the only way to not end up down there is just not to do the drugs in the first place.
So if you got like a message to the kids back in Lloydminster, what would you have to say to them?
Lloydminster, just say no, it's not worth it. Drugs out here, the cut in the drugs is so bad, it is not worth it. It will take everything you love away from you. And the streets is not the place you want to die in. It's the worst. So definitely stay off the drugs, man. Don't escalate off of the weed, because it does escalate fast. Once that snowball starts rolling, you can't stop it. So stay off the drugs.
After the break, the Bobcats come back to the border city. This as they reach out to the next generation.